One of the first tips that you can use when profiling somebody to find out if they're telling you the truth or not is called building a timeline. This is something that law enforcement uses in interrogation all the time. It's a technique and a tactic that involves patience and discipline in order to see if the perp is telling the truth or not. Many times it's hard to determine by facial expressions or other things if someone's telling the truth, so building a timeline is an effective way to make sure that you know whether or not someone is lying to you. What is an example of this? A timeline looks like it does on a sheet of paper. Let's say someone said they were born in 1989. The detective or whoever is doing the interrogation will automatically log this in an imaginary timeline in their head. Later on, they would revisit this same fact and ask the person what year they were born. If the person contradicts their original statement in the timeline, it sets off red flags. Let's say if the person said they were born in 1987 instead of 1989. The timeline allows for detectives or anyone who's profiling to determine whether or not the person is contradicting themselves in their story. A lot of people who lie or are trying to get one over on you will have a lot of details in their story, so it's important to be able to build a timeline to keep up with those details. Often if you allow them to talk and you let this period of a timeline build in your head over days and even months, you'll find out if they're lying or not through contradictory dates, times, and statements, events, or people through which they originally said were doing something, or the timing of something was at a different time than what they're now stating in the present time. Building a timeline is effective and important. You can start doing this today very easily by allowing yourself to pay attention to the details when people are telling you a story. Whether you want to hire an employee or you just want to protect your family, pay attention to certain details and build up dates, times, and events in your mind, and then see if the person is pretty consistent in the timeline that they provide for you throughout the time you know them. This is not to say that people don't make mistakes, because we all do. Sometimes we don't have a good memory in dates and times, so we can contradict our timeline. However, when it's big events, or if we're consistently changing our timeline, that shows deceit, and it raises a red flag. Until next time, this is a little profiling tip to keep you safe and to keep